Just about the fall time of 2025, and now PC handheld gaming has become even bigger. In fact, there's 5 different consoles, 5 different handhelds that I want to talk to you guys about, and you might be hyped for it. Some of you are familiar with the Asus ROG Ally Xbox Edition, and they're also coming out with the Asus ROG Ally Xbox X Edition. Pretty confusing on the nameplate, I get it. MSI is coming out with their Z2 handheld. Lenovo Legion Go is also going to be released, practically based on the same processor on the Z1 Extreme, except they are going to step it up to Z2 Extreme. There is going to be a Zotac handheld that is going to compete with these big names here. So which one should you get and which one is really good? We're going to go over the different details on each handheld. If you are debating between, say, a Steam Deck and you just want something that is a little bit more universal where you can be able to do more on your handheld PC, I get it, because we're going over their pricing, their details, and which one would really be worth it. Even the release dates of them might even hype you up. First, I want to talk to you about Zotac because it's quite interesting. It's not going to be quite a Z2 Extreme processor. Instead, they're going with the 370. They're going with the APU, which has 12 Zen 5C cores, exclusively a 7-inch OLED display. So for those who are looking for an OLED display, which Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't. Why, Nintendo? You just like to kick yourself right in the area where you shouldn't be kicking yourself. But it does feature a 7-inch OLED display. The memory is quite large. In fact, it's up to 32 gigabytes. It's not going to be upgradable RAM. A lot of these handheld consoles more than likely won't be. Now, if you're interested in more of content just like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. But let me continue here. What you can really expect of Zotac's handheld here, it will in fact features AMD's 370. It will also feature up to 24 or 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X, so it's up to your options here. You do have the options to increase the RAM capacity of your choice. You also have some pretty decent battery life. Some may find it disappointing where it's 48.5 watt hours. Now it's a little bit more than the original Asus ROG Ally where it sits at a hefty 40 watts per hour. Connectivity wise, it will feature more than likely Wi-Fi 6E. It won't have Wi-Fi 7, unfortunately, where they should really step it up there. So we can say if you're looking for better bandwidth, Wi-Fi 7 does certainly make a difference over Wi-Fi 6E. It also does have Bluetooth 5.2, dual USB 4 ports, so you can be able to charge and dock at the same time if you choose to. Trackpads, cameras, and it even has a quick menu where you can place the full desktop. Its OS is going to be quite different as it will be more Linux based compared to something like a Steam OS where it is Linux based. It's confirmed that the prototype was showcased during Computex 2025. Fortunately, we weren't there to catch it, but it was certainly there in person. Display is going to be 1080p, 120 Hz at AMOLED display, similar to what you would see on a Samsung phone. It has Manjoro's Linux with Hall effect sticks. Let's go ahead and take a look at roughly about 850 euros currently. And it's going to be released around September 17th. One of the most exciting handhelds out there, a lot of people love this, Lenovo's Legion. But how is it going to be with Lenovo Legion's V2, their version 2, where it will have AMD's Z2 Extreme processor? Something that we all been looking for, one of the most anticipated APUs out there currently in the market, especially after seeing how wildly successful the Z1 Extreme performed. RDNA 3.5, pretty serious power bump from the original Lenovo. In fact, it's going to even have a 8.8-inch OLED display instead of the standard LCD display, 2560 by 1600. So it's going to be a bump up from also 1080p, 144 Hz, as it will be a big, large visual leap compared to its predecessor. In fact, the memory is up to 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5, and its battery is quite incredible at 74 watt hours. Now talk about a large improvement over its prior model. It's coming with Windows 11 exclusively shipped. Some of you may not be a fan with it, but remember, it's a handheld PC. Even though it does come with Windows 11 shipped, you can choose to put in a OS of your choice if that's not your favorite. The pricing seems that it's going to be close to about $1,000. It's a hefty price tag, but there are some large scale improvements, even such as the storage devices up to 1 terabyte. Everybody seems to be pretty happy with it. I got to really test out the Lenovo Z2 really early on in the year, around January, and I gotta say it ran Spider-Man 2 really well. It was quite impressive, I gotta say, for the most part. But how will it fare compared to all the other handhelds when released? It's rumored that September 5th we'll get more information, but the rumor is stating that it's going to be around October. There's going to be a lot of handhelds being shipped out in October, I gotta say. It comes with Ryzen Z2 Extreme 8.8-inch OLED display. It comes with 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X, and it does have 1 terabyte of storage with 74 watt hours, which is going to be a very tough competitor to compete, but the pricing is up there. It's at $1,000. I wonder how well it's going to perform. Doesn't quite say if their Hall effect sticks on their side of the bargain, but we know for sure Zotac is. One of the most disappointing PC handhelds, personally to me. Again, I played the first version of it and I was not quite thoroughly impressed. I compared the Asus ROG Ally with the MSI Claw, the original one, the A1. Now, MSI Claw decided to change up their game, especially when it came to their 3rd generation device. Yes, they're already on the 3rd generation because they tried twice with Intel. The 2nd version was also based on Intel's Meteor Lake, and now the 3rd version, they kind of stepped away from Intel and saying it doesn't seem to be working out with us, so we're gonna say we're sorry to see you go. Instead, we're gonna go ahead and go with AMD's Z2 Extreme. That's right, MSI decided to jump into the Z2 Extreme bandwagon. Before we get to MSI's Claw, I want to talk to you about Abxylute because, again, it's a very unique console for the most part, and it has the most different specifications compared to the ones that we're currently talking about now. It's allegedly going to release by 3D1 September to early October, and the price tag is quite up there. You're talking about $1,700 USD for a handheld PC. Some of you might say, I might as well just build a PC for that price. You might not be too far off. I'd rather build a PC, in my personal opinion, at that price, but to each their own. Now, the specifications may interest you. Some of these specifications may throw you off and you may not be interested at all. The 2560 by 1600 display, which a Lenovo Legion Go already features, the version 2 does, which we just had mentioned. It also has 120 hertz. But what really makes this different is we're going back to the 3DS days, the Nintendo 3DS days, because it will offer 3D imagery without the glasses. So I'm not too sure if it's going to look quite as like the 3DS. I'm sure it's going to visually look a lot better for a price tag like $1,700. But again, we'll see, because it's going to be a direct spin-off from Intel's and Tencent CES prototype. A 3D gameplay with over 50 Steam titles. So it's going to have a deep effect mode, so it's going to really feel like you're in the game. What is interesting is, yes, I said Intel's Core Ultra 258V, which is going to be based on Lunar Lake. It's also going to be paired with 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X, and it will also feature a 1 terabyte of storage. Now, it's going to have detachable controllers, similar to what Lenovo has with their handheld PC, and it does offer a keyboard dock accessory, so you can choose to dock a keyboard as well with it. It comes with it, which gives it kind of a little special accessory, but again, $1,700 is quite a hefty price tag. It weighs at a stunning 1.11 kilograms, which is about 2.45 pounds. It does also run on a 50 watt hour battery, which is, I gotta say, a lot smaller than I would expect from a device like this. You expect more battery out of a device like this. And again, if you're more interested in an Intel portable PC, this might be something that you're quite looking forward to. You can expect it in late September, early October, around then. It will also have a 10.95-inch display, so it's quite massive. It's even larger than Lenovo's Legion 2, which is quite insane. Again, your 10.59 5-inch display with a 50 watt hour battery, which is what I'm not liking already, especially for the pricing. But it does offer OLED and it is glasses free 3D. Some of you may like it. 32 gigabytes of a LPDDR5X, and it does have 50 watt hours. Every other device I will mention, I'll tell you right now, does not feature the 3D features that this does with the Abxylute device. But again, to me, I'm not going for it. MSI Claw decided to kick Intel out of their seat because they felt like they were taking too much of a loss from being part of Team Intel. Being part of Team Blue ended up hurting MSI's Claw. Instead, they decided to go Z2 Extreme. It's already released in Europe, believe it or not, for the price of 975 euros. In fact, it does have the Ryzen Z2 Extreme processor, up to 24 gigabytes of LPDDR5. It also has 1 terabyte SSD, 8-inch display compared to its competitors, so it's more closer linked to the Asus ROG, which I will get to in just a bit. It will also have 120 Hz refresh rate at VRR. Some of you might not like it, as VRR is a bit ghosty. It's great visuals, but sometimes it can look a bit funny, especially when gaming. It does have 80 watt hour battery with the MSI Claw, so they certainly decided to take it a bit more serious with their third reiteration. They also have Wi-Fi 6E, even Wi-Fi 7, depending on the model. And it does have 2 USB-C ports with Windows 11 with the device. Asus ROG Ally. Sure, it's not the first PC handheld that was out there. We all know that there was devices even before Steam Deck. They had AO Neo, and they had quite a few devices, which I'm not going to name them all because it's going to be quite a lengthy list. But what certainly made a dent in the industry was the Asus ROG Ally, just because of how well made it was. To be honest, I love my Asus ROG Ally. I still have the original one. But my biggest complaint with it is the battery life, where it's only at 40 watt hours. Other than that, it just performs excellently, even still to this day with the Z1 Extreme. But speaking of their second reiteration, really their third reiteration, as it's more of not quite the next gen, but you can expect the ROG Ally 2 to eventually be released. What I expect from this Xbox version, or what anybody can really expect out the Xbox version, is that it's going to come with Windows-based OS, meaning it's still going to be Windows 11. It's just going to have sort of like an Xbox interference for those who especially liked the Xbox look. It also comes with the Z2 Extreme if you choose to get the Ally X Xbox Edition, and it does have up to 24 gigabytes of LPDDR5. Its display is also going to remain practically the same. Display is going to be at 7-inch IPS, 1080p at 120 Hz. It's also 80 watt hour battery, so it's doubled the battery life compared to its predecessor. Now, some of you might say the screen's so small, but then again, really think about how much battery life you can get out of a 7-inch display. Now, I can't really say off the fact if it's better for them to come out with a smaller display compared to, say, Lenovo, but again, we'll see due time when we compare these devices. Also, it does have micro SD and a 3.5mm jack, 2 USB-C ports, and most importantly, the triggers are going to be very similar or the same high quality controls. They're going to have Hall effect triggers, but again, the joysticks or the sticks still remain the same, and that they're not going to be Hall effect, unfortunately. But we can say that you can expect these new AI features that they're going to throw with the Asus ROG Ally X Xbox Edition: automatic super resolution and AI generated highlighted reels, which is, some of you might not like any of that AI generated stuff, but it is available for those who are looking for it. And it does come with Windows 11. Of course, you can always add a different OS if that's not going to be in your favorites. For the ROG Ally Xbox Edition, that is the non-X, is going to be quite a different device. It's going to even have a different processor, so be careful if you do choose to go with the Asus ROG Ally Xbox Edition. It's not going to have the Z2 Extreme built in it. Instead, it's going to be quite different. It's going to have the Z2A, which is honestly closer to the Z1 Extreme. It's also going to have 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5. It's practically going to be the same as the original ROG Ally for the most part. 512 gigabytes of storage for those who are curious, and it does have a 7-inch IPS display, which is Gorilla Glass. It does have 60 watt hours, which is going to be the major improvement compared to the original, which was at 40 watt hours. It's also 670 grams and will also still feature 2 USB-C ports with this version. Also micro SD 3.5mm jack, and it does have Wi-Fi 6E built into the device with Bluetooth. If we compare all these devices, I think I just named about all their devices so far. Steam Deck 2, we're waiting for you. I'm sure you guys will pop out of the blue. I don't think it'll come out this year, but more than likely it'll come out within the next year for those who are looking forward for a version 2. So out of all these PC handhelds, what can you really say? Which one would you personally like out of all of them? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. PC handheld gaming has certainly changed drastically within just a few years. I gotta know what you guys think. I hope you found this content very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not part of the big wonderful fan base, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button for more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Also, make sure to join the lives on Wednesdays between 6 to 8 or 7 to 9, depending on how I'm feeling Eastern time, and also on Saturdays between 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern time. Or if we have some sort of special going on, I will keep you guys up to date in Discord. Make sure to join in on the Discord chats, and make sure you follow my handle right here, as it is the same as my TikTok and ID as well. So fam guys, I thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo signing out.